Hi, today's Tuesday Tweak. We're going to talk about your break-even point. I'm Deb Pervin, and thanks for watching. So what do I mean by your break-even point? So there's so much disaster going on in the world that it's impossible to escape all the concerns around macroeconomics between the war in Ukraine, inflation, the cost of labor, the cost of gas, the cost of food, the cost of housing, the lack of supplies, fearful in the grocery store. And now, this week, the Fed is going to raise interest rates, try to curb inflation. But all of these macroeconomic issues, they're frightening, they're scary. They're scary as a business owner, they're scary as the people who work with you. And you really have to think about what your budget looks like. It's time to revisit your budget and think about how those changes and how those numbers and how the macroeconomic world is going to impact your company. So we have a couple of tools that we use. One is to look at a break-even point. So that means, what if your expenses increased so much that you came all the way down to a zero profit? What is that level of expansion? How much increase can you take and still have a business in line? Maybe not as profitable, but you're going to survive this period of time. There's so much anxiety and so much unknown. So once you know what that cushion is, where is it impacting your business? Is it impacting it in the gas cost? Is it impacting it in your materials or in your labor? So I want you to play with those numbers and see. We call that a sensitivity analysis. How sensitive are you to interest rate fluctuations? Well, if you have a fixed loan on a real piece of real estate, then not at all. If you've got a floating rate revolver and you need to borrow money in order to buy supplies because it's taking so long to get paid by your customers, then you have some pretty good exposure, and you really have to think about that. Now, in order to be comfortable and get a grip on the risk, it helps to think ahead. This is just proactive. What would I do if this happens? What would I do if that happens? And then my recommendation, since everyone's feeling this concern, is to talk with your clients. Talk with them. How is it impacting you? And try to figure out, is that going to impact your top line? We know it's going to impact your bottom line, but what about your clients? How are they doing? What are they doing? And finally, talk with your employees. I know it's a scary point in time, and maybe there are some good suggestions that they have on how to mitigate the risk. My team said, well, what if we worked from home one day? Everybody take a different day. That saves the drive into work, and that saves some gas money to make up for the cost of the gas pump. I thought that was a great idea because we are able to work pretty efficiently from home after our COVID experience. So get your team together and just talk about ways that we might mitigate the risk, and grab that emotional intelligence quotient and just see how you're doing. Tell them, yes, it's scary, and yes, all together we will work on it and pull through. If you need help with the sensitivity analysis, understanding which of your expenses are going to be impacted, I'm happy to do so. Just give me a call. So, any questions? I'm happy to answer them. Thanks for your time today. I'm Deb Pervin, and I'll see you next week.